One of my careers that I've had was being an attorney. Abraham Lincoln said, time is the attorney's stock in trade. And it's so true. As an attorney, my day was chopped up into 6-minute segments. Every hour of every workday chopped up into 6-minute segments, trying to be as productive as possible. But of course, life happens and interrupted, and the whole schedule just goes kaput because there is no margin when your life is chopped up into 6-minute segments. Does your life have any margin to it? Here, listen to this description of one's life from Isaiah in the 5th chapter. He says, "Oh, how bad for those who hoard property and wealth, hurrying and buying up houses and fields right and left, until there's no place left for anyone else." Until there's no place left for anyone else. There's a life there without any margin. Hi, I'm Jeff Miller, the pastor at the Belton First United Methodist Church. In this devotional series, I'm calling Road Trip, using the acronym DRIVE. And this week, we're talking about the I invest. Investing in God's life, or investing your life in today. And today, I want to talk about having some margin in our life. You know, the margin of a paper is that white area on the side that we don't have anything on. It's not filled up. It gives us margin. Now, it is usually the smaller part. But is your day so filled that there's no margin? Or perhaps you have found yourself because of the quarantine and having to work at home, that now you have a bunch of margin that has been forced upon you, and you don't know what to do with it. When my family, we would take road trips, and even when my wife and I, we'd do some road trips, she finally convinced me to put some margin in our road trips, because the way I grew up doing road trips, we have this very strict itinerary of making so many miles, getting to the destination by a certain time without much margin. And of course, that always started with getting up at dark 30 to hit the road. But thankfully, my wife, who is much smarter than I am, but I was smart enough to marry her, that she's convinced me that in our trips we need to have some margin, just some time to stop and enjoy life. And I know that maybe today you're dealing with some forced margin. And some people don't know how to handle that forced margin because we never learned how to handle margin in our life. But the margin is that empty space, that non-filled space, the space that we can invest in people, invest in influence for the kingdom of God. Are you using this time where you have some margin to help hopefully invest and influence others for God? You know, invest, that's the I in our road trip, the drive, the devotion, the relationship, and then invest. But invest to influence others for God. And the margin, you know, that's the smallest part usually of the paper, because it doesn't take much margin to make a big difference. Jesus gives some words in Luke 13. Jesus gives these words to the disciples. As soon as I find it. Jesus says, "Do you want to understand the kingdom of God? Do you want me to tell you what it's like? It's like a single mustard seed that someone took and planted in his garden. That tiny seed grew and became a tree so large that birds could fly in and make their nest in its branches." You know, the smallest thing can grow in to the largest investment. Just take some small margin and take it and invest that and influence someone else for God and for the kingdom of God. May God bless you.